You sit on the Armed Services Committee. Typically, only the ranking and chairs of the committees get to see the FBI background check on a nominee. But as you know, many senators are asking for more information on Pete Hegseth here. Do you have any information from the ranking member of the committee, from Senator Reid, that you will get access or get any information from that FBI background check?
Margaret, let me just start by saying there is not a job that's more serious and more critical to our national security than Secretary of Defense, and we need a qualified individual in that job. And he just does not seem to have the qualifications. And then on top of that, you look at his personal conduct, especially when he was managing Veterans for Freedom and Concerned Veterans of America. You know, these two organizations were financially mismanaged. There was reports of being intoxicated on the job and creating an environment, you know, where there was, you know, some issues with, you know, sexual harassment. So I think it's in the nominee, Mr. Hegseth's, best interest, if he wants to be confirmed for this job, for us to have all the information. You know, the information from these organizations, but also the FBI background check. Right now, as you say, the chairman and the ranking member are going to get it. That's an agreement with the White House. But there has been exceptions made in the past for certain nominees. This clearly, because it is bipartisan, like a, you know, across the aisle, folks want to see the FBI background check. I think we should get an opportunity to take a look at it.
Okay, the New York Times was reporting that that the ranking member had been briefed as of Friday. You're saying no information has been shared?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it will be before Tuesday?
Not yet.
When the hearing?
I don't know. I think you know, we will have an opportunity. You know, I'll talk to the ranking member, and I also talked to the chairman about this, about his nomination in general. More so, the discussion I had with Roger Wicker was about just meeting with Mr. Hegseth. We've reached out to him multiple times, have not been able to schedule a meeting in my office, and he's not meeting with any other Democrats on the committee other than the ranking member. More information is better. If he wants to be confirmed for this job, I think it's in our best interest to have everything put out on the table.
You're on the Intelligence Committee. Former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard, she is controversial as well. Republican Senator Capito was on Fox today and said when she privately met with Tulsi Gabbard, she pressed her on that 2017 trip to Syria that came in the wake of a chemical weapons attack carried out by dictator Bashar al-Assad against civilians. Gabbard told her, she said, that she didn't even know she was going to Syria, that she intended to go to Lebanon on the scheduled visit and ended up in Syria. Is that a credible answer?
I talked to Congresswoman Gabbard this week, met with her in my office. We talked about the trip to Syria. She didn't tell me that part. I mean, I think it's kind of unusual that you wind up in one place that wasn't part of the plan. But what concerns me more, especially about that trip, is it was common knowledge that Assad was gassing the civilian population, using chemical weapons against the population multiple times. And she didn't argue about those, but she took the time and the effort to make a case that there were two cases, and she used, you know, experts that were not credible to try to prove that he was not using chemical weapons in those two instances. And I have a hard time understanding why you would want to do that, to use your political capital to try to prove something when there are multiple cases. And, you know, on top of that, when you look at, you know, what in Russia with misinformation, she does seem to have a predilection for misinformation. And for not having, presenting a case that isn't
My
strong
producer's
and
yelling
not
in my ear. I got to go, Senator.
Community.
I'm so sorry to cut you off. But we will see when the hearing gets scheduled. We'll be back in a moment.